like a Duncan Keith or Jonathan Taves. If you look at the Bulls, it's someone like a Joakim Noah who sets the tone, who's that savvy veteran who knows how to give it his all during practice, who expects more out of others. He's the guy that kind of keeps everything together.
Yeah.
So even though his numbers are pretty poor, he's averaging well below his career averages.
His career average, yeah.
And even though that's the case, he still brings a lot to this team. And other teams have to account for his rebounding ability, his passing ability, his vision on the floor. People have to take that into consideration when they play the Bulls.
And I want to ask you, looking ahead to the offseason, Joakim Noah is most likely gone.
Yes.
So is Gasol.
Possibly.
Possibly. You think there's a chance he comes back?
If he takes a short-term deal...
Do you think they want him back?
I read a report this morning saying that they are considering it. They would rather re-sign him than trade him at this point.
Yeah.
I think if the Bulls, when Joakim was healthy, they were looking to deal at this trade deadline.
Yeah.
Most likely a guy like Taj or Joakim.
I heard the boogie rumors, but
those aren't credible.
I don't think there's any way he's getting out of Sacramento either.
Yeah, the Sacramento Queens with Rajon Rondo now leading the way. Looking to the offseason, though, Joe, I think, doesn't like playing under Hoiberg. I think a good fit for him would be somewhere like a Memphis, someone like Atlanta, go play with his buddy Al Horford. That'd be pretty sweet. The Gator Boys back in action. That'd be nice. And for someone like Pau, he is either going to say, all right, I want to spend my last couple of years of my career with the Bulls, or I want to try to get some big money and end my career on a high note. Or even go play with my brother Mark in Memphis. So we don't know what's going to happen, but the Bulls need more wing depth in the worst way. You have guys like Doug McDermott, Mirotic, Dunleavy's hurt. Tony Snell is a ghost who doesn't do anything. Tony Snell is a zombie. There hasn't been one person who's stepped up this year and is saying, like, I want this starting gig. No one's really done that. They've all been so inconsistent.
Seems like certain guys will step up at different times and then fall back
down. You're still not getting that constant wing production every game, and you're not getting Tony Snell. He's getting set up with wide open threes, and he's bricking them all the time. He makes too many mistakes.
Yeah.
And now Niko Mirotic got his appendix taken out yesterday. Emergency surgery. He's out until after the All-Star break. So it's just another guy that they're missing.
And I have a question about Nico.
Yeah.
What has happened to him this year?
It's all mental.
You think it's mental?
It's all mental with him because when you know how he does that little pump fake that everyone hates on so much?
Yeah.
That's all in his head. If he catches the ball in rhythm and just lets it fly without pump faking or anything like that, he makes it most of the time. And if he's aggressive in attacking the basket, he's quicker than most bigs. He's so much faster than most bigs. So he can get to the rim. He can finish with both hands. He's not horrible in the post. I just wish he was a little bit more stronger with the ball. He's kind of soft. If somebody bumps him or something, he'll immediately flop, throw the ball up, or turn the ball over a ton. And last year in March, he went on an absolute tear. He was destroying teams. And now I think
he's the best rookie.
It's just all confidence. So hopefully he gets back to that point.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You got to give Hoiberg a little bit of breathing room here. His first season as coach. Takes a long time for a team.
All right, how about this, though?
Yeah.
I know it's his first year. I know it's only halfway through the season.
Yeah.
But if you had to give him a grade right now, just overall in the season,
I will give him a C+.
Okay.
Slightly above average, but not great.
Not great.
Not great. You see the same problems as last year. The team not showing up for certain games. no energy some games.
I've seen that's even more of a problem this year, the inconsistency.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll beat the Cavs and then fall apart in the next game,
Yep, exactly. You look at that Miami game the other day. You go and you beat Cleveland with their full squad.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have half of your guys. Derek and Jimmy look good. They're attacking. Powell has a monster game. And then you go and you throw up a dud against Miami. You never know what you're going to get with this team.
Yeah. And before we move on, I want to ask you, just so we have it on record.
Yes.
Who are you taking in the title, and who's going to be the Western Conference champion, which is eventually going to be the champion?
NBA Finals is going to be a rematch. It's going to be Golden State versus Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay, so
and I'm taking Golden State in 5 games in that series right now. This team is incredible. They've changed the way...
This is what I wanted to talk about.
They've changed basketball. This is fun basketball. Golden State is fun. The Bulls are not fun. They're depressing.
It's funny, like, I'll watch the Warriors when they're on, but I'll see, like, a Bulls game on, and most of the time I'll try and find something else before I head to the Bulls game.
You're a horrible human being. We got to get...
You have to admit, the Warriors are... We have to what?
We have to get you on the Bulls train.
More Bulls? I mean, I know what I'm talking about, at least. I mean, I hear a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I'll watch...
Blake knows people.
I know people, in the mob. But, I don't know, I watch the games sometimes, but overall, I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I'm just going to cut this part out.
All we're saying is that the Warriors are a much better basketball team than the Bulls, and I think they're going to win the title again. I don't think they will get to 72-10.
You don't think so?
I think health will become a factor for them. And I think if Draymond Green, he's been out a couple games here and there. If he gets hurt, they're not getting that. They're not getting.
You think they're going to fall short?
They'll fall short.
Okay.
I might be a little bit biased when I'm saying that, but,
a little bit.
This is a Chicago sports podcast, so if you're listening to this, you should be a little biased too.
We almost named it the 72-10 podcast.
We almost named it the 72-10 podcast.
It almost happened.
But
that was
the Steam option. Room is a better name. And
it's the GOAT.
It's the GOAT of names.
The GOAT.
Not the Billy Goat.
Not the Billy Goat.
Wow, great segue.
Great segue.
But I hate the Billy Goat, so that segue sucks. The Cubs.
The Cubs.
Gotta love those Cubs.
I think this is what me and you have been most excited about. To talk about and, to look ahead.
It is so exciting. April needs to get here.
Yes.
Pitchers and catchers report soon. I'm sure we'll be doing some spring training talk as well.
Oh,
talking about cuts, stuff like that. But this team, Blake, is stacked.
Yes.
Last year we were watching this team the postseason run, and we thought that they had a chance to make history, to finally do it. But now looking at this team, oh my gosh.
They've upgraded in every way possible. Bullpen, starting rotation, outfield, infield, everything.
Yep.
From bottom up, they've just improved the roster overall. And
thank you, Theo.
My thoughts are they're not done still right now.
They'll probably add a couple of bench guys, I'd guess.
Well, they just signed the Blue Jays, the Korean guy. I forget his name right now, but I heard he's like a Johnny B.
Yeah, he's like a Johnny B. Herrera type guy.
So
clubhouse presence.
And honestly, like, you need those guys.
You need people like Denorfia.
You need the North.
Wherever Denorfia
Wherever
is right
he's ending up, or at this moment, wherever he is right now. We're thinking about him.
The North.
The North.
Shout out to North.
I hope he's listening right now.
Probably not.
Probably not, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, this team is just upgraded in every single aspect. What are you most excited about? What are you
now? That's a
to see?
Tough question because
there's a lot.
I'm excited about literally everything. I guess I'd have to start with Jason Hayward, obviously.
That's a big one.
Bringing him in that might be the piece. A guy that kind of does it all and fits really nicely into the system Joe's got right now. But
bring some stability to the outfield defense with Schwarber in left and Soler in right. With those two, you never really know. Soler's both of their ranges aren't the best, but Hayward provides that stable piece.
And I mean, just as an upgrade over Dexter Fowler as a defensive option, like we go from an average, maybe a little bit above or below average center fielder to the best.
Yep.
Maybe not at center field, but just like as an outfielder in general.
Like, he has a feel for it. He knows where to be on the field. He has crazy range. He has a cannon for an arm. It's going to be fun to watch him out there. We don't know if the Cubs are going to make a move yet. If they're going to make a move, they'll trade Soler or Baez for pitching.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is. They got John Lackey. That's your number 3 guy. That's a really good number 3.
Yeah.
You still have some questions with the back end. We saw signs from Hendricks last year that he could be all right. He's got good
solid
command, doesn't have overpowering stuff, but he can get balls on the ground, get outs. Then we got our main man Jason Hamill, who
just about to say that.
Exploded in the postseason,
as he's known to do.
Yes, the
second half. Hamill.
The second half Hamill is not a good Hamill.
It's not a good Hamill. That's not the Hamill we're looking for.
He was great until that hamstring injury last season. He got hurt before a game, and then I think he was just never the same after that. But the front office is still having some belief that he could be that number 5 guy or flip-flop 4 or 5 guy. And then you have guys like Adam Warren that could step up, jump in the rotation.
Trevor Cahill.
Yeah, Trevor Cahill.
Who I really like that signing.
Yeah, that was a great signing.
I think bringing him back
and
is
he
going to
took
be
less money to come to the Cubs, just like Jason Hayward did. So, yeah, I think the rotation will work itself out. We have a lot of good stretch.
I'll say this.
Okay.
The trade deadline. I think by the time we get there, they're going to
add a starter.
I
like that prediction because they have so much talent in the minors.
Yeah.
We know this year that we're probably going to see Wilson Contreras. He's a stud. They'll probably put him at catcher the second half of the season.
Yeah.
You have guys that are kind of just chilling out in the minors, like the Vogelbachs of the world, the Billy McKinneys, those guys that could be nice pieces to move. And they have options.
If there's a way they can trade for a solid 4-5 and keep the majority of these young guys already on the major league roster, would be just
they have the best
too much.
They have the best infield in baseball. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I think they have the best infield in baseball, adding Zobrist now, who I love. Just a great clubhouse guy as well. Great guy from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And he might not
took less money to get here.
Yeah, took less money to come here. Might not have the same speed as he once had. I believe he had knee surgery at some point, so that's kind of a question mark. But with him and Addison up the middle, that's a
That's a very good middle infield.
Yes. They're going to turn a lot of DPs. It's going to be fun to watch.
To go from Starlin Castro to Ben Zobrist.
Yes.
Huge upgrade defensively.
I think so.
Huge upgrade.
But, I love Starlin. We both love Starlin.
I love Starlin.
Shout out to Starlin Castro and his walk-up music.
Oh.
The walk-up music is the best walk-up music in the world.
We're going to have a funeral for that.
The clapping.
The clapping, the power.
That should be our. That should be
what it is.
That should be like our closing out song.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll leave you with that as we go. But yeah, that middle infield looks great. You have the unicorn Tommy La Stella backing up Zobrist. That's another veteran bat that can come in, relieve a guy. He can play third too.
Yep. Good utility guy.
Yeah, good guy to have. And they'll probably sign one more of those guys.
Yeah.
after losing a clubhouse presence like the Norfield.
Like the